Hey there. So, what if you could definitely make the next 12 months your breakthrough year? The year, like the year, how would that feel? Where it all finally comes together and you are absolutely winning at life and business at a whole new level like never before. Well, today in this special, well, not just today, but this four-part Breakthrough Year Blueprint series, and today is part one, we're going to break down our proven goal setting strategy that will help you absolutely experience your breakthrough year and quickly achieve what matters most without falling short or without feeling overwhelmed. How does that sound?
Hey there, good morning. My name is Jordan Maley. I'm here with my mom and business partner, Kathy Schneider, and we are so excited to be kicking off for the third year in a row this very special Breakthrough Year series. So we are a mother-daughter team. We are the co-founders of the Global Freedom Community, where we help driven network marketers like you with the simple strategies to grow your business quickly online without confusion and overwhelm. And if you're hanging out with us over on our new YouTube channel, we want to encourage you, click the button above and become a subscriber, because we drop new training episodes like this one every single week, and we don't want you to miss out. So also, another big thing we do, if you've been around Coffee with K&J for very long, then you know we like to give you guys free resources. We don't like to just talk at you. We like to actually leave you with actionable information you can take and apply right away. So we provide a full recap and downloadable resource for every single episode. And for this episode, you can grab it. It is scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now, or if you're on YouTube, you can check it out in the description below. So welcome to this week's episode of Coffee with K&J. We are going to dive in and get started.
We can't improve what we don't assess, right? You've got to, and what does assessment mean? It means evaluating, looking back, looking forward, looking what worked, what didn't work, what needs improvement, what do I need to quit doing, what do I need to do more of? And it doesn't matter in what area of your life it is, but especially in business, you've always got to be assessing your business and looking at it and deciding, what do I need to do so that I can take my business to the next level, so I can continue to move it forward? And that's one of the reasons we love Michael Hyatt. We love all of his quotes. He is all about assessment. He's all about keeping things he's constantly having you review what you've done, whether it be yesterday, last week, last month, last year. And what we're doing right now is we're looking back last year. We're looking back on this year, okay, the months prior to, and we're evaluating those things, and we're going to be doing this over the next 4 weeks. And it's like, okay, what do we need to do now so that in January we're ready to move forward? Okay, what do we need to change?
Absolutely. So for this episode, we created for this episode, we're going to be talking about your year in review, right? Like Mom was just saying, you've got to look back at what has happened up to this point, because to get where you want to go, you've got to start where you are. And to help you with that, we put together a free year in review assessment. So today we're going to be talking about all the most important areas of your life that you need to evaluate every single year when setting goals. And this assessment is going to walk you through how to evaluate where you are in things like your business, your wealth, your health, your relationships, your overall lifestyle, so that knowing where you are, you can follow along with the upcoming sessions of this Breakthrough Year series and create goals that are going to get you where you want to go. So you can download the assessment for free over at globalfreedomcommunity.com/63. And, the reason we always start this series with your year in review is because to get where you want to go, you've got to start with where you are, right? Moving forward in life and business begins with a real raw look at where you are right now, right? You've got to look at every area of your life too. It doesn't matter. Maybe you've got this incredible business, but it doesn't matter if the rest of your life is in shambles, right? Maybe you've got these incredible relationships, which is wonderful, but you're not where you want to be in your business, right? So this lifestyle wheel that we're going to talk about in just a second is going to help you really evaluate all the different areas. And it's only by acknowledging your wins, acknowledging where you can get better, and learning how to do that without any self-judgment, without any regrets. You've got to look at it very just matter of fact, right? You got to be able to look at it and say, okay, this is where I am. And it's fine. Like where I am is fine. It's not where I want to be. Maybe I didn't do as well as I wanted in some areas this year. I mean, I think all of us probably in 2020 can say there's certain things that didn't quite go how we thought they would, right? Like this year of all years is a different year for looking back. But it's very, very important every year to look back. And you've got to be able to look back and really evaluate, okay, this is where I am, so that you can become free to move forward and become who you want to be.
Yeah, so Jordan spoke of the wheel. Okay, we like to refer to it as a lifestyle wheel. Okay, your life is like a wheel. Okay, think of a wheel and think about it's supported in the middle by a strong core, which of course is you. Okay, and with spokes running out to form the round wheel. Okay, and without the core, the spokes have nothing to attach to. Right, and without those spokes, without even spokes extending from the center of the wheel, can't roll, right? And so, I mean, think about a wheel, think about how it's made up. I mean, this isn't really Tire 101, but we're going to kind of go there today and talk about automotives, talk about the wheel, but this, like I say, it's your wheel in your life, okay? And you are the core, okay? You're the one in the middle. And then all the different areas in your life, each one of those is a spoke, okay? Each one is a section. And remember, balance is key. But sometimes things are going to get a little out of balance, and that's okay. And it's not about being a perfect, we'll say 10 in each area, but it's about looking at it, evaluating it, which is what you're going to do today with this assessment that we put together for you. You're going to look at it and go, okay, where am I kind of lacking? Okay, where am I kind of got it figured out and it's looking good? And then where do I need to improve? What do I need to focus on? Where am I out of balance? Because you want your wheel to be as balanced as it can be most of the time. There's on occasion you will find that maybe for a short period of time you do have to get out of balance, but you can't stay there. Okay, and we're going to talk about more. We're going to dig deeper into that as we go through and talk about this today, and it'll make more sense to you. But anyway, let's dig in. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, awesome. So you're never going to outlive your own self-image, your own thought patterns, your own beliefs. Okay, that's why you is at the core of the wheel.
Exactly.
Right? You're never going to be able to out-achieve your self-image, your thought patterns, your beliefs. Okay, they are the core of who you are. And they not only determine how you operate in every single area of your life, but they explain why you operate in that way. Maybe you're a procrastinator. That goes back to a core belief that you have of some kind of thought pattern, some kind of self-image, right? Maybe you're a shy introvert. Hello, right here. But I don't let that define me, and I don't let that keep me from building my business. There was a time when I did, but you've got to really start with you, and you've got to start with your mindset, your beliefs, your thought patterns, both what happens to you and how you respond to it, right?
Well, and I think one thing to point out here too, I think there's a lot of people out there who are perfectionists. They don't move forward because, well, I don't have everything perfected yet. Like I just can't do it yet. Do we have any
getting ready to get ready to get ready?
Yeah. Anybody out there, maybe you've moved past that. That's cool. But can you relate to that? Maybe you can relate to being an introvert like Jordan talked about. Like, let us know in the comments if that's you. Okay. Because I think we all have these things, we're in these places, right, where sometimes we're like, oh, I can't move forward yet. I've got to first get this done or that done. And exactly. I think we really work past that.
So that's why it's so important before you go setting all these goals to make sure that you are feeding your mind with the stuff that's going to continue to grow that core, right? You think about a big Mack truck wheel, right? Which Mom said, we're going to talk about tires today, fun times. But you think about, if you go to a monster truck show, the hubcap, the center of that wheel, is huge, right? Because it's a big tire, it's a big wheel. Whereas like if you look at your kid's Hot Wheel car, it's a little bitty wheel, right? And so you got to ask, do you have like Hot Wheel size dreams or do you have like Mack truck size dreams, right? And the bigger your dreams, the stronger your core needs to be. And that goes back to making sure that every single day you're investing in personal and professional development. It's going to work on your mindset. One of our favorite books that we're reading right now and recommending to like everybody we know is High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. We're reading it for about the 80th time. All of our coaching clients are reading it right now. It's a really, really great book, especially as we come into the new year. So if you're needing a suggestion, there's one for you. But that's why I started with
put it on audio. Make sure you get it on audio. I'm going to tell you, Brendan he actually is reading it himself, and you are going to feel like you are front and center on the front row of like one of his events, as if he's speaking directly to you. So that's how good it is.
All right. So that's the core of your wheel, right? Is you are the core of your wheel. But let's talk about the spokes. Let's talk about the different areas of your life and the importance of evaluating those.
Yeah. So like Jordan was she was just talking about Brendan, and yesterday, the chapter I was listening to, or the section I was listening to, was on health. And, he emphasized this, and it's so true. You cannot underestimate the importance of your physical health. Okay. You cannot show up like you need to show up for your business, for your prospects, for your family, for your team, for your customers. You can't show up if your health is not, if you're not feeling good, if you're not having that physical energy to show up. And can you imagine trying to work your business with like a really bad headache? Okay. Or, you have aches and pains and this and that. It's just really, really difficult. And it also takes the fun out of it. So you must make time to do the things that will help you to stay healthy, which is the exercise, drinking the water, taking the supplements, watching what you eat, watching your weight. All those things are important. Okay, how you move your body. Get up and move. You got to move every day. How much sleep you get. Did you know that sleep specifically has in correlation with a person's success? And you may find people that say, oh no, I can get by on 5 hours of sleep. Well, guess what? They can do that for a period of time, but not long term. Okay, you've got, like, eventually it's going to come crashing down. So it's so important that you're actually increasing your percentage of having a really successful year when you make sure that you get all those things, you work those things into your daily routine when it comes to your health.
Absolutely. So after your health comes your business, right? So what you do for a living, this includes the income you earn, but also it includes your time, your stress levels. Think about your career. Does your career add or take away from the other parts of your wheel? Right. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, I've talked to people before who, in fact, one of our coaching clients, we had this conversation with her. She said, I don't want to build this huge successful business at the expense of the rest of my life. And that's why we're so adamant about talking about this lifestyle wheel, because you don't want to look up at the end of 2021 and have this rock star business and realize that the rest of your wheel has shrunk, mm-hmm. right? Because you're going to have this really lopsided wheel that won't roll. And we have watched that happen to people. It happens to people all the time. They prioritize their business over everything else. But also, sometimes you can make a ton of money in your business, but the stress makes that money not worth it at all, right? And that's not typically what happens in network marketing. But if you think about your career, that's why so many people want out of their careers. They want into network marketing because it creates freedom, right? So thinking about your business, really evaluate your stress levels, the time it's taking, the money you're earning from it, and are you where you want to be in your business right now? And is your business even, going to get you where you want to go in the other areas of your lifestyle?
Oh, wealth. Did you know that what you do with your money is actually what we mean when we're talking about wealth? So living within your means. Are you saving some? Are you investing some? So it's not about how much you make. Obviously, if you make more, it's easy to think that that's going to make things easier. But if you're still spending everything you make and you're living right up to the edge, and you're not really taking care of that money, more is not going to make things better. It actually will really just make it more stressful. So you need to make sure that you're adequately like watching your monthly expenses. Make sure you know what those monthly expenses are, okay? And make sure that you evaluate those on a regular basis, okay?
Yeah.
So make sure you're financially responsible. Do you pay your bills on time? I mean, gosh, that is so important. It's such a simple thing. Pay ahead of time, right? Not at the last minute. That's stressful, and that's when things, mess up. Accidents happen, something goes late, hurts your credit report, all those kind of things. You just got to take the responsibility to make sure that you get your money in order, that you get your finances in order.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, huge.
So spirituality, okay, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, okay? And regardless of whether or not you're religious, we're all spiritual. All right. Now, Mom and I start every single day with our Bible study in the morning. We both, we're not always reading the same book, but we're always reading something, and we read a lot of the same books, not always at the same time, but we tend to recommend a lot of books to each other in that area. Mm-hmm. And spirituality is about tapping into that spiritual side of your being. Okay. And the way we do that is through our morning routine in the morning. We read, we journal, we meditate. We, have community with other people who believe the same things we believe, right? And so making sure that you're tapping into that. I know when I start every day with my Bible study, with some prayer, with some meditation, my whole day goes better. I'm in a better mindset. I can handle the negative things that happen to me more easily. I can let things roll off of me a little bit more. I'm more centered. I'm more focused. I'm less stressed. I'm in less of a hurry. And yet when I skip those things, I feel frazzled all day. And, I think that taking that time to really center yourself and spend some time tapping into that spiritual side of your being is so important every single day. And then this is kind of crazy, but it's something that we both do, is setting some tangible goals around that, right? How many, what books are you going to read this year? How much time? Maybe it's a habit goal, and you're going to set a goal to spend a set amount of time each day digging into that. And we're going to talk about goals later in the series, but evaluating kind of where you are in this area is really, really important.
Yeah. So relationships. Did you know that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with? I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. But the people you choose to spend your time with, and that's your romantic relationships, obviously, your friends, your family, your coworkers, they are going to have a profound impact on who you become. Now, I remember way back when I first got started, and I remember thinking, well, but what do I do? Where do I, I'm not at the level of where I want to be in order for these people that I wanted to be like to want to hang out with me. I knew I wasn't there. Well, guess what I did? And I actually heard this from a mentor of mine, and I'm so glad that he shared this. And he said, if your circle is not what you want, what you do is, and obviously, you can't choose your family, right? You can't just write them off and refuse to interact with them, right? That would be totally wrong in so many levels. But what you can do is you expose yourself to more people through books, through audios, through seminars, through events. Make sure that you can, that you're increasing the relationships with those people that maybe you don't personally know, but they become mentors of you. Some of my strongest mentors, and even a few of them, I've actually had the privilege now of saying they're friends, and I've actually met them in person. But it was many years that all I did was read their books, with their audios, and then over time, I just kind of worked myself into their circle. Okay. I was very intentional about it. I kind of had visioned it to happen, but I took steps to make those things happen. But it started with reading and listening to their, to whatever content it was they were putting out there. And that's easier today with social media than it's ever been. So, you can always even though you've got family that you don't want to get rid of, if some of the family is like, ooh, they kind of pull me down, well, kind of fill that in with the people that you expose yourself to when it comes to, like I say, what you're listening to and reading. Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Your physical environments, the house you live in, the car you drive, the space you work in. Okay. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be expensive, but is it tidy? Is it clean? Is it organized? Is it filled with clutter? Right? Your physical environment is either going to drain you or it's going to inspire you. And it's incredible what an effect this has on your mindset, your confidence, your energy, your focus, right? It's crazy what a big difference it makes. Like I remember, because my husband and I are, he humors me and agreed to buy a fixer-upper because I've always had this dream of like redoing a house ourselves on like HGTV level, right? And so we've been doing this for a couple of years now. We're almost done. But I remember when we moved into this house and we were like living on concrete floors because we ripped out all the 40-year-old smelly carpet. And, you know, there was clutter everywhere and there was dust everywhere. And it was so draining, right? It was draining. It was like, And now like I walk through the house and there's one wall in our living room and there's one picture we hung on that wall that every time I see it, I just smile. And I'm just like, man, that feels good, right? Like I can't walk through that living room and look at that picture without just saying, oh man, I love that picture. It's awesome. It's been hanging there a year and a half now. I love it. And so it's not about moving to a bigger house or a fancier house or a nicer house. It's about keeping things clean, keeping things inspiring. What do you have hanging on the walls, right? Do you like it? Do you feel good walking through your home? And then making sure the same thing, you know, with your car. I know for my workspace, I like to sit down and have a clutter-free workspace on my desk. I get so much more done. And my energy levels are higher. My focus is better when I have a clear space to work. Now, you know, when I first started my business, it was the corner of my dorm room, right? I remember that. Like I actually started in high school. So it was in my bedroom at home and then my dorm room. Like it's not like I've always had a dedicated office, but I have always had a dedicated working space. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's very important to make sure that your workspace inspires you and that it gets you excited and ready to go to work.
You know, before we go into that, I wanted to share a real fun story. Yesterday, I was walking through from the garage into the house through the utility room, and I stopped for a minute and I just kind of smiled. My husband goes, "What?" And I said, "This right here is one of my favorite decorations in the whole house. We had put up Christmas decorations. Guys, here's what it was, or what it is. It still is a Santa hat hung on a little hook, you know, where you hang your coats and backpacks and whatever, okay? A Santa hat with a little twig of like Christmas wreath with a little red bell hanging on it, hanging there." And he goes, "Really? Like of all the decorations in the house?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like every time I see it, I just think, "Aw," you know. And it's a Santa hat from the dollar store, you know, with literally a little bitty twig of like what would go on a Christmas wreath, you know. Mm-hmm. It's so funny. So it doesn't have to be a lot or expensive. It's just whatever inspires you. Okay, it's whatever makes you happy, makes you smile, and just makes you feel good.
For sure, absolutely. All right, fun. Let's talk about fun.
You know what? This one I used to really struggle with. I still struggle with it. This is probably the one I struggle with the most because I always think I need to be working, right? I am definitely a workaholic. And I remember one time, again, one of my mentors, so this is the same one, he told me, you know what? People who don't like to have fun and don't like to stop and relax and like do things for enjoyment. He said, "Kathy, those people are boring and no one wants to hang out with them." And I just looked at him and my mouth just went, "Really?" I'm like, "You're saying I'm boring?" He's like, "You're not," because at the time, obviously, we were just hanging out and having fun. But he said, "You've got to make sure you make time for those things." And I was just like, "Oh, I will, but you know what? I'll do that when I get this done or I get that done or we finish." And I've learned that you've got to work those things in, like work in date night, work in times with your your family to do things, whether it's a puzzle or maybe you're like I say, a date night with your husband. Doesn't even have to, again, be anything expensive. Doesn't have to be a big vacation, just little things. One of the things my husband and I love
Every
to
night
do.
at 5 o'clock, we sit outside and by the fire pit and play fetch with the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much fun. It doesn't cost us anything, right?
Well, and one of our favorite things to do is just get in the car and drive around and look at landscape in yards, or right now it's looking at Christmas lights in the evenings. I think we've already driven around and looked at Christmas lights 4 times this year, and it's December 2nd. But you know what? It's something my husband and I enjoy doing. It's fun.
I think we might be related because I've done that twice. So.
So there again, you know what? This shows you that what you do, you're influencing, and you're kind of leading by example for your children. Like, they do what you do. And so moms, dads out there, it's important that you think about that and you think about what you're doing, because they're watching what you're doing. Okay. And I know a lot of the things that I enjoy doing, like going to open houses. When I was a kid, oh my gosh, I cannot even count the number. I just thought it's what everyone did on a Saturday. I thought you just went to open houses. Well, then later I found out that no, most people don't do that. Well, that's what my mother loved to do. Well, guess where I dragged my kids off? And I can't even tell you the number of times she said, hey, we're going to go to this open house. Do you guys want to go? And the kids look at us like, no, is our house? Are we going to sell our house? I'm like, oh, no, we're just going for fun. They're like, Mom, that's not fun. I'm like, well, Dad and I are going. We'll be back in a little bit. So
then you do what we do, and we came to this open house and we put an offer on it the next day, and we didn't plan to. We just did. So
yeah, but the point is, you just do what you enjoy doing, but make some time to have fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, for sure. So all these areas that we've talked about today, you at the core, and then all the other little areas we talked about, they combine to create your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is like that thin little piece of rubber that goes around the outside of your tire, right? It's the very outermost rim. It is the combination of your core and each individual spoke of your wheel, okay? And here's the thing. If your lifestyle wheel right now isn't what you imagined, it's because the individual areas we've covered here don't add up. Right? Because if all of these add up, then your lifestyle wheel is what you've always imagined it would be. And if any one area is too weak or too strong compared to the others, it's going to get off kilter. It's not going to roll. It's going to get off balance. Right? And the reason that people fall short on their goals, this is probably the most important thing we've said all day. The reason people fall short on their goals is because they start by trying to change their lifestyle. And they don't realize that their lifestyle is a combination of a lot of little things that add up and create the big picture. So when you start at the core and you focus on each individual area, you will be able to create the lifestyle you want to live. Your philosophy, your beliefs, they determine your attitude and your outlook on life. Your attitude and your outlook on life determines the actions that you take. Your actions dictate your results. Your results create your lifestyle. And that's true for every single area, okay? So if you notice one specific area where you struggle, go back to the core. What are your beliefs about yourself and the world around you that are causing you to struggle in that area? It's very, very important. And if you want to dive deeper into this, which we encourage everybody to do, we do this every single year. And we want you to go and grab our lifestyle assessment, okay? It's our 2020 year in review assessment. It's fully updated from last year, so you may definitely want to go grab it. We help you evaluate each area of your lifestyle wheel, and we even give you a diagram to fill in and color your lifestyle wheel. It's very, very fun. And it's a great way to close out the year and really say, okay, where am I right now? And then you can come back and join us next week for part 2, and we're going to take this lifestyle wheel that you've created and we're going to blow it up. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to fill in the parts where you're struggling. We're going to help you really take each individual area and combine them to create the lifestyle you want in 2021.
Well, and I want to encourage you to keep it from year to year, like date it, keep it. so that you can look back and see your progress. Okay. I mean, think about, this is something you want to do year after year after year. And we do this series every year. And so we'll always have another one, but save it from year to year, like print it off, do it, and then look back and just see how much progress you've made.
Absolutely. So, question of the week. Are you ready to welcome in the new year? I think everyone probably is going to say yes to this, right?
This is almost a trick question because, it's like sometimes, some years you're like, oh, this has been a great year. I'm sad to see it go. I don't think anyone's really sad to see 2020 go. I think we're all just truly, truly, truly praying, hoping, wishing, crossing our fingers, doing everything we can. That's like, oh, please, let's let 2021 be a different year for our entire world, right? For our nation, for everything. It's just like, please, let's let this not, let's not drag on into 2021 what 2020 gave us.
So. My best friend and I, we always celebrate New Year's together with, at one time, we're our boyfriends, now our husbands. We always celebrate together. And we made a plan a couple of weeks ago. We're going to get a piñata and paint 2020 on the side of it. And that's how we're going to ring in the new year this year. When the clock strikes midnight, we're going to bust open the piñata and eat all the candy and have a good time with it. We thought, man, what a year to use a piñata to symbolize the end of the year. It's definitely worth it.
Gonna beat the heck out of 2020,
beat the heck
right?
out of 2020 and get it out of here, right? So, all right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed today's episode, you are in for a very special treat coming up the next 3 weeks. We've got part 2, 3, and 4. We're going to help you create goals that get you where you want to go and create an action plan that makes those goals inevitable for you. Okay. And if you are wanting to really focus on amping up your business in the new year, then we're going to give you some very strategic steps for doing that as well, because we know you probably follow us more for business than anything else. And so we're gonna talk big goals on all areas of your life. And then at the end, we're gonna really focus in and help you create an action plan for your business for 2021. So feel free to share this broadcast with anyone on your team or any friends who you feel could benefit from it. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we can't wait to see you next week. Bye.